Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Master Connector Show.
Steve Spiro, you're a mentor, you're a consultant, you're a business owner, but most importantly, you're a host of your own show and you're also a master connector.
Steve Spiro is one of my idols, and I love listening to everything that he does. He's such a dynamic individual.
Some of the topics I really enjoy speaking on is how to really connect, whether it be in person or through social media. I love to lead with my weaknesses. I lead with, my vulnerabilities. It's fine because I'm okay with who I am. Number two is how to go from being inward focused, self-focused, into others focused. Being willing to give and go out there and look to serve. That will attract the right things. Another one is on leveraging LinkedIn to really grow your business. You could reach a lot more people. You could broadcast a message to people that actually consented to want to know you. And then lastly, overcoming big obstacles.
I love sharing. I was a shy, introverted kid, picked on, bullied, learning disabled, dyslexic, really in a dark place. I was really in a box, in a shell, and I've been able to break out of that box. And so I love being able to inspire people and really help them. So the Master Connector was born.
The world is my networking event, right? I meet people all the time. My goal is to meet 3 strangers every single day.
Steve is open to meeting you. You should set up a face-to-face with Steve. One little conversation can really change your life. All right. I know for my folks that are watching today, you've been in a place where you got a little off track and you weren't going the direction that you wanted to go, or you realized that you were going along and you didn't have direction to begin with and you needed to course correct. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Steve, set this up for us, get us into this, and then we will introduce the amazing Lisa Goldenthal.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct for real. And I want to talk to you about this. So listen, I got a great quote here. Stella Payton said, "Self-correction makes me check the ruler of my life against the yardstick of my inner voice. I acknowledge when I don't measure up. Self-correction is an ongoing process. If done enough, I can stop myself from straying off the path." So here's the question for you guys. Are you stuck? Do you feel like maybe it's time for a change? Have you ever been or felt bad, or maybe whether it be mentally or physically in terms of health, and do you feel like it's affecting your attitude? How about this? Would you like to become unstoppable? Well, perhaps it's a time for course correction. And so we're going to talk about that today. We have an amazing guest, Lisa. I know Cameron is going to be introducing her in only the way Cameron does it. But if you're ready for Lisa, I want you to type in right now, #ready. And Cameron, my man, my co-host, who I'm very appreciative of, is going to bring Lisa forefront to the stage. So Cameron, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Absolutely. All right, Lisa, let's get her up on the screen there. There we go. We are ready for you. We are going to get folks into this place. If you're stuck right now, this is the show for you. We're going to get you into a place where you're going to feel good. All right. So Lisa is an international best-selling author, coach, and top high-performance coach who has previously been featured on CBS, NBC, Thrive Global, and Medium.com. Her book, The Boss Weight Loss, was voted the best diet book in Los Angeles. That is a place that knows something about diets. Her Skinny Jeans workout was voted one of the top 10 in-home workouts by Life and Style and is seen in Target, sold over 100,000 copies. Lisa G Fitness is the high-performance executive wellness coach, weight loss, and fitness expert of choice for people wanting to live a healthier lifestyle in minimal time. Please welcome to the show the incredibly lively Lisa Goldenthal.
Cameron, oh my gosh, thank you for that fabulous introduction. I love
my pleasure.
All the nice things that you said. Thank you.
Absolutely. Steve, lay this out for us.
Yes, sir. Well, Lisa and I had an amazing conversation a few months back, and very impressed with her. And we've been following each other on social and encouraging each other and giving, and she has just got an incredible story. So if you're ready, community, I want you to type in #story if you're ready to hear her story, because she's got a pretty cool one. So #story. And so here's what we want to hear, Lisa, because we have a lot of content to cover today. I know you have a very long story. Probably it could take hours, right? But let's hear in a couple minutes, right? The backstory and how you, honestly, I'd love to know how you got on CBS and NBC and kind of how that kind of came together.
Well, as a best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss, a lot of people are struggling. If you've ever struggled with your weight, you're certainly not alone. So I went on TV to discuss how to create social distance from the fridge. It's just a topic that's relevant right now because I've struggled myself. I've found that sometimes my eating habits and drinking habits had sabotaged all my hard work in the gym. That was my inspiration behind my book, The Boss Weight Loss, How to Succeed in 6 Easy Steps. And my story is not that more interesting than any other entrepreneurs. It's been a bumpy road of ups and downs. And that was my inspiration to create systems that work to help other people achieve high performance in their health, in their wellness, their mindset, their business, so that they can be successful no matter what. Because we've all been thrown into this whole new normal. And that was my inspiration for launching my podcast, Whole CEO with Lisa G, where I was having the pleasure of having you as a guest, Steve. And I just want to inspire other people to go from stuck to unstoppable, bounce back better, find the silver lining, because we all have to do it now.
Absolutely. And that was great being on your show and your podcast. Thanks for pointing that out. I was going to mention that at some point, but thank you. Yeah, it was great. It was an honor to be on there with you. And so you mentioned a bunch of stuff here, right? And I know that and by the way, I got to tell you, I love the social distance, the fridge. That is great. I don't know if you coined that phrase prior to COVID, but that is pretty cool. I definitely need to social distance myself from the fridge because I've got the corporation starting to happen right above the belt there, if you know what I mean.
Oh, so, you're not alone. And that was how we got on TV and talked about that kind of stuff. And
absolutely.
Anything's possible if you have a goal and you're aggressive enough. Don't you agree?
100%. All things are possible. That's for sure.
Social distance from McDonald's. I have to social distance from
the
fridge. I have to social distance from Taco Bell. I got a lot of places I got to social distance from.
Well, we've all had those extra COVID curves that we've had to deal with. So it's just good when you have systems in place because we all had to find the silver lining in uncertain times, and dealing with problems in turbulent times is normal. So I'd like to give you some of my steps of how I help people do that.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you do that? Because I do want to cover some other stuff, but go for it. If you're already on that roll, let's go.
Oh, I'm always ready on that roll because I really love to start with mindset because dealing with problems is normal. So you really need to develop a resilient growth mindset. Look at challenges as opportunities to grow, and that way you're more likely to take action, improve your mood, your performance, your situation. A resilient mindset is a set of beliefs. It includes how you see yourself, how you interact with others, how you respond in times of uncertainty. So instead of worst case scenarios, your brain will default to the negative. You can rewrite your story to a more positive one. And I love helping people do that.
Love that. We're all about stories on this show. That's for sure. And speaking of stories, right? I know you and I spoke a little bit about how, when COVID hit and you were killing it in the fitness world and you had to pivot, right? And that's become a cliche word today. So, but we want our community and we want to hear a little bit about that. So if you're ready, community, type in #pivot. And we want to know, Lisa, tell us how you course corrected and you pivoted to where you are today. I know COVID threw a lot of people off, and you and I were not just exceptions there.
Yeah, well, that was my inspiration for the podcast. It was hard for me. I'll be honest. When all of a sudden everything that you've known as the way you can see people in person gets taken away from you, and I'll be honest, I was single at the time. It was hard for me. I'm like stuck here. I'm not being able to work. And I'm like, this totally sucks. I'll be honest. But I had been studying online marketing since 2016, building an email list, building a social media following, being a speaker. So I just put myself in high gear and I decided I'm going to join every course I can join. I'm going to meet all the people I can meet. I'm going to network. I'm going to build my network. I'm going to add value to other people. And it wasn't easy, but what my pain inspired me to help other people do the same and just figure it out. Because when you don't have a choice, you got to find the silver lining and be grateful. And I'm really grateful that I was pushed so far outside of my comfort zone. There was no comfort zone. I'm like, okay, what's a comfort zone? I'm just going to do all the hard things. I mean, even being a speaker was so hard for me. I was nervous. We run the camera. I just forced myself to do it and get better by doing it. But I'm certainly no expert. I just make myself do hard things. And that's what I recommend. If life throws you a curveball, you got to bounce. You got to bounce back better. And that's what I've had to do. And that's what I'd love to help other people do the same.
Love it. You know, you actually you queued us up really well here for the next part of our conversation, which we want to know how. So type in how if you're ready for the next part of this phase. But that is awesome. And, you know, throwing a curveball, right? I've heard it said if somebody, if you dealt lemons, you make lemonade out of it. It's a cliche, right? Cameron, you came on. You have something that looks like you want.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out some of our amazing community members. We got Yolanda checking in from Dallas, Texas, in the comments. I was just asking Christy where she's tuning in from, Val where she's tuning in from, and you. I just want to shout out all our folks here. Andy Phillips in the comments. Thank you for participating.
Andy the man.
We love you getting in the comments and not being LinkedIn lurkers, but LinkedIn leveragers, right? People that are definitely getting there and networking in the comments and commenting and making the show much, much better than it is without your participation. So Christy, thank you again. We got some folks that are really interested in the how, and I'll let you get to it.
Absolutely. I love that, Cameron. LinkedIn lurkers to LinkedIn leverager. I like that phrase. I like it. Good stuff.
I like that too. Awesome.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So we want to hear, how,
right.
You tell the viewers how they can bounce back, right? You said you bounce back.
I bounce back. I inspire other people to bounce back. I'm all about action. When it boils down to one thing, it's action. So if you want to upgrade your life, get unstuck, feel unstoppable, you have to lead yourself first. Running a company takes unstoppable energy. Leadership starts with you. And when you take care of yourself, you're going to have higher levels of energy, and the people that you influence will notice. So if I have one thing for you, I'm going to say take action now. What's one step that you can take in the area that you decide that you want to improve? That'll take you one step closer to crushing your goals. So write in the comments, what's one step that you're going to take today, not tomorrow, not later, to get you one step closer. Get started with that one step. Keep the momentum going. I want to know who's an action taker out there. Start with your body, because if you don't get fit now, you won't have the kind of energy that you'll need to lead, especially in stressful times.
That's awesome. Yeah, my one of my mentors said, you wake up in the action mode. You could decide through your actions that you're going to feel great, or you could decide through your actions to feel horrible, and you make a decision, right? So I love that. Take action, do one step, one thing, because I agree with you totally, Lisa, that one thing that you do that's positive makes you feel better, and then you start to do more. And then
yes, like a ripple effect. Absolutely. Progress, according to Tony Robbins, equals happiness. So I want to know what you guys are going to work on before the end of this week. We're in the third quarter. Let's see what kind of goals we can crush. I'm a big believer in SMART goals, and all goals are possible when you dream big, but start with one. What's one thing?
Yeah, I love that. And I'm just going to shout out our people by name. So Andy, what's one step you're taking today to get closer to the body you want? And I was thinking about this show today, and I was walking by, and I went out for my bike ride this morning. But I'll tell you, my bike rides in the morning, they're not it's one step. And I was reading something about, just getting up and doing your exercise, you get this burst of energy. And so if you get into the habit of it, and I've definitely gotten to that point where I've gotten enough mornings that I get up and I'm ready, right? My energy level is ready for that bike ride. And when I don't do it, I miss it. But it's not moving the needle, partially because I have not socially distanced from McDonald's and Taco Bell the way that I should. And so it's not doing all the damage that I need that workout to do. And so I was going down the hall, I was going past the mirror. I was like, what's one thing I can do in this moment? I'm thinking about this all the time. Let me turn those thoughts into action. And I did 10 push-ups in the hallway, just within the last hour, right? So getting it done, right? So Christy, she says, keep in mind to do my due to say ratio. I'm hosting 2 events today. I like that. Andy says, I walked an hour this morning with my wife. We do that every day. Excellent. We love it. We love it. Gregory Austin, more reading and planning. All right. So I love that because a lot of the mindset stuff is what Lisa was talking about. So we want to hear from you, Val. What's a step you're taking, right? Val, we want to hear from you. Yolanda, what's a step that you're taking? We want to hear from you. Ann Small, who commented before the show, should be tuning in. So we're hoping to hear from her, as well as cousin Frances. We want to hear from her. So hopefully we'll get everybody in there. And we know that there's more people watching that are commenting. So get in there so we know who you are. And we'd love to hear what you're doing, what step you're going to take today to get further towards your goal. All right, you guys take it away.
That's great. Yeah, he's like, where's Waldo? He just shows up, it's pretty awesome. So
I love it.
Appreciate you, Cameron. No, it's good stuff. So we definitely want to keep on this role that we're having here, and it's great. And I think the conversation is coming on the health topic, right? And I'm with Cameron, except Cameron, my bike rides are right in the living room because I have a spin bike. So I'm spinning, and I do it every morning. I do about 15 minutes, pretty high intensity. So my scenery doesn't change a lot, but that's okay,
Well, there's options for that. You get the iPad in front of you, go visit foreign lands. I did one in one of these hotels, and they have these programs where you're on the bike, but you're actually like doing a tour of Italy and all that kind of stuff. So that's an option for folks. Yolanda says she's running every morning for 45 minutes. Yolanda, I'm impressed. Very, very impressed.
Very impressive.
That's awesome. Yes. Yeah. So we want to talk about health a little bit. So if you're ready, type in hashtag health community. We want to get into the next topic, and that is how can health, and that could be both physical and mental health, affect your attitude, Lisa. So we want to get your take and your perspective on that.
Well, it's all about energy. Wouldn't you agree? Like everything is energy, and food is not here to comfort you. You don't get treats. You're not a dog. You want to manage your energy with the proper meals at the right time to keep your energy levels even. So I'd love to talk about one of my top secrets for weight loss, which is
let's go for it.
How you can burn more fat even while you're sleeping, and it'll improve your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, raise your human growth hormone levels to age better too. And that is intermittent fasting. This is my secret. It's one of the most important strategies that you can do for weight loss. It can fix a broken metabolism, fix insulin resistance, increases testosterone, cognitive function, and it can help recycle old damaged cells. There's actually a study done in 2016 where Dr. Ashimi from Japan won a Nobel Prize on a process that happens inside your body when you're not eating called autophagy or autophagy, depending on how you pronounce it, which is repairing the damaged cells. It'll suppress inflammation. Celebrities like Jennifer Aniston, Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry do IF, and the reason it's so popular is that it works. It works for me. It works for my high-level clients. So do you guys want to know how that strategy works?
Yeah, I definitely do, because I definitely utilize the intermittent fasting. The challenge is I won't eat through the day, and I have no problem with that, right? So I went on the bike ride this morning. It was probably just a 5-mile bike ride. Sometimes I go longer, sometimes short, but I haven't eaten anything. I've had a cup of coffee today. That's it. I'm fine. The challenge is end of the day, when I do start to finally eat or have a meal, I may not stop eating for a while. And that's the big challenge for me.
Well, you're not alone. I mean, the struggle is real. Come on, we've all been sitting here too close to the fridge. We all like to have fun and go out when we can get let out after the lockdown. So it's simple and it's a very powerful weight loss tools. And obviously what you eat is important, and when you eat, because intermittent fasting is a powerful pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. So if you're struggling with what you're eating, I might recommend for a week to just track all the math in an app like MyFitnessPal, which I have people track if weight loss is a goal on their phone. And you're either in a fed state or a fasted state. And the goal here is become a fat burner more than a sugar burner. So if you're not maintaining your weight and you're doing everything right with intermittent fasting, the steps I recommend, you're skipping breakfast, push your first meal back 5 or 6 hours after you wake up. So it becomes your lunch. And then that way you'll switch off to a sugar burner, and from sugar burner to burning fat. So breakfast isn't the most important meal of the day, and it's flexible. It's based on the time that actually works in your life. You could fast. I have some of my clients do from 9 to 5, 10 to 6, 11 to 7. And the great news is your body responds by digging into its fat stores. So if you are finding yourself getting too hungry, maybe you're fasting too long, maybe you're not hydrating properly. So what I do, I have a very strict morning routine. I start lining up my water bottles like soldiers, and I drink half of my body weight in ounces of water. That helps keep you energized and full. And you can do dirty fasting. You don't have to be 100% great. You can cheat a little bit. I'll put a little fat in my coffee to help keep me mentally focused, give me some brain octane fuel. And there's no need to suffer. If you're starving, there's even a brand that has fast bars that I can eat during my fast. You can put BCAAs and fat into your liquids just to help keep that energy level even. So if you're eating too much at night, you didn't eat enough during the day, try eating from 11 to 7 and see if that helps. Just stay busy, focus on getting stuff done. And people that have lost weight, the studies have shown that they had these 3 things in common. They exercised daily, weighed themselves regularly, drank water, and watched less than 10 hours of TV a week. So I hope that's helpful for you guys.
I love that. And I think the water tip, because I definitely know that I could drink a lot more water, and that might help me with the endless, insatiable kind of feeling I get towards the end of the day. I'm fine. But then once I start putting food into the system, the body's just like more and more and more and more and more. And so if I can feed it water, and it's great to hear it again, because I think a lot of this stuff isn't necessarily, and I think this is the great thing of having a coach, right? It's not the idea that you need to run or you need to do the steps or you need to breathe, but somebody to help you through it and make sure you're doing those steps and getting those reminders. I wanted to shout out Val for saying she's saying that she's going to take a step, start walking every day again. I was doing that and then got off track, starting again, just finished for the day. Thanks for the motivation to take one step today. And I want to invite everybody, if you got something that's in your calendar, in your schedule, like let's say there's a show called the Master Connector Show, and you want to take a walk with us every Wednesday at 1. That's a great opportunity to get some knowledge in and get some walking in as well. Take that lunch break, get some physical activity, put the headphones in and party with us, and make sure you got your thumbs free so you can type in some
that goes right to the book, The Atomic Habits, right? And it talks about habit stacking. And so if you make it a habit that when you're at 1 o'clock, you're watching the Master Connector Show, 1 o'clock Eastern, obviously, and you go and now you attach walking to that. So now you've kind of created the habit stack, right? So it's a great way to kind of improve. Yeah.
Habit stacking is such a great topic because you are what you repeatedly do, according to Jim Rohn, who's like a brilliant man. So habits, according to habit stacking, have to be simple, they have to be visible, and it has to be easy. So let's say if you have a goal to exercise and that feels too big, what you do at a millionaire morning routine is something I suggest to my clients, but that starts the night before with a millionaire evening routine. So you got to plan for what you want. And what your plan should include is laying out those workout clothes, because it has to be visible, has to be obvious, and it has to be one thing. Like if you want to just change one thing at a time, it's a lot easier because then you can stack another habit onto that. Like let's say you're already brushing your teeth, I hope. Maybe you can stack a habit onto that. You can lay things out so they're obvious. If fitness is a goal and you want to do those push-ups, maybe you can do 5 push-ups a day for a week. Then you feel so good because you accomplished that goal. You can stack another habit on top of that. I like to stretch because we're all sitting too much. So can you put an alarm in your phone? Get up, move. Don't just sit there. I mean, my body is just not going to be happy with me if I don't get up enough. I know I'll feel it.
Absolutely. Yeah, stretching has become such an important part of my routine every morning.
Yeah.
So important. So
I
important.
love to stretch. I can't even tell you. Otherwise we're going to turn into generations and generations of people who are locked down that we're going to all look like this.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, right? And we've talked about it time and time again on this show, the idea that your physical health, right? It ties into your mental health, and
Sure.
that ties into your productivity. So if you're tuning in just right now, catching this in the middle of the show, why are we talking about health? Why are we talking about fitness? Why are we talking about one thing that you can do to get a better physical you? This ties into your ability to think more clearly, to produce more clearly, to be more creative, to be a better human being, period.
And be happier too. There's so much study and research behind this of how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you're feeling better about yourself. You're getting those feel-good hormones, endorphins when you move your body. I'm just so hyper and anxious myself, and I drink all this coffee. It's like, I need to move my damn body just to feel better. So there's so much research and studies behind this of the tie between mental health and physical health.
Yep. Absolutely. And it's funny because I know there's got to be somebody out there, I was there and I've been there at times where I felt stuck. So Lisa, we're going to ask the audience, the viewers to type in unstuck right now if you want to hear the next piece of this the show. But we want to hear from your perspective, Lisa, how can our viewers, if they're stuck, how can they get unstuck? Because I know you talked about that before.
Well, I'd love to get back to the basic thing, which is mindset. So I touched upon briefly a morning routine, and that's something I have my clients start with is the mindset, because it's hard out there. We've all been through so much, and I want to acknowledge all of you. I know it's been hard for me. I know it's been hard for you too. And your mindset is not the only thing, but it's everything. So what I am committed to is I'll set the alarm. I'll get up earlier than I have to get up. I'll do a meditation, stillness, mindfulness practice, which is hard for this monkey mind over here. So I'll use a guided meditation, even the priming one that I love from Tony Robbins, where you're physically tying in your mind and your body with that. So I will recommend that meditation for anybody else who's super hyper like me. And then I set my mind up for what are my 3 things that I want to accomplish. And there's no timeline. I find that what trips me up is when I compete with other people. I have my goals. I focus on 3 things I'm grateful for every morning and 3 things that I want to focus on. And what has messed me up before is comparison is the root of evil. And I try to just run my own race, stay in my own lane. If I have a goal, it took me forever. I finally met somebody, and after meeting all the wrong people, it was just a goal that I focused on daily. I have business goals, I have personal goals, I have health goals. And I say if something is important to you, don't put a timeline on it. Just make it important. We've all seen what's happened in the last couple of years. I've never heard of more people getting sick, dying. Yeah. And if you don't have your health, you don't have anything at all. You don't have your health, you just have one wish. But if you have your health, you have a million wishes. So make that a priority. Start with your mindset. Start with a morning routine. It's been said that if you don't have time to meditate, then meditate for longer, because make your health a priority. Make your mental health a priority.
Love that. That's great. Yeah, it's So important, right? Your body, your mind, your spirit. You always have to be nurturing it because obviously it's all we got, right? It's
It's all we got. Your health is
yeah,
your wealth, and there is no
yeah.
wealth without health.
That's it. That's it. So I know you talked about being unstoppable and some other phrase like lead yourself first. So if you're ready for the next part of this, we want you to type in hashtag lead, LEAD, right? And so we want to ask you how you feel, Lisa, that our viewers can become unstoppable by leading themselves first. Tell us a little bit more about what that means to you, if you could.
Absolutely. Well, mastery over your emotions is another thing I'd love to talk about, because to be successful in life and business, it's crucial to develop your emotional intelligence, your EQ. Studies show that that's more important than your IQ. So a great way to get unstuck is to develop your EQ, which is how you respond to something rather than react. Like if somebody lobs something out at you, like a brick, I would suggest catch it first, process your feelings before you start responding in a negative way. Emotional intelligence is one of the critical skills that you'll need to manage both your emotions and your team in uncertain times. So leading yourself first there's just a strong link between how you feel physically and how you perform mentally. You need to eat, move, and sleep well to perform optimally, and then the people in your life will notice. If you're not performing at your best, you're tired, you lack energy, the proper nutrition and meal timing will allow you to sustain your highest energy levels throughout the day. And people notice, like they don't watch what you say, they watch what you do. So to be focused and think clearly, I want to just get back and hit you over the head with exercising regularly makes you sharp, fit, prepared to overcome whatever challenges that come your way in these uncertain times.
Love it.
If you're an athlete, a business leader, you need to stay on top of your game as a thought leader. Keep learning. That's a really important thing. Things are changing. You don't want to be a dinosaur. Stay on top of things.
Yeah, I can't endorse that enough. I mean, for folks that are dealing with stuff, and both Steve and I have parents who've been through recent health issues and challenges, and so it's all fun and games until somebody takes their eye out, right? And so it's like that in life, right? It's all fun and games, and you don't worry about it until that part of your body stops working, and then it's a big deal, right? And so keeping yourself moving, keeping yourself healthy, right? It prolongs life. It makes you more resistant to things like COVID. There was so much conversation around, if you're, obese and you got this going on, you got that going on. If you already have some of these other health issues going on, you're just at that much more risk. And so I think, we talk about business so much on this show and getting yourself set up to basically sail through any storm. Well, your body is the best, right, equipment that you have in life to help you get through every storm. And so I love that we're doing a show on this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would just add also too, everybody waits until there's a crisis to take action.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. The good news is you can take action. I'm having you guys put a comment in the chat right now. What's one action you're going to take? Don't wait until it's a crisis. That's what everybody does. Value your health right now. Value your values. Like, what do you stand for? What is your why? Why do you want this? Why now? What do you want? Clarity is step one. That starts with your mindset. So really get clear on your values and goals.
Love that. You mentioned one thing, and we're going to start wrapping up here, but you mentioned, about leading and, being an example, right? And I heard it said, what you do speak so loudly that what you say I can't hear. And there's a lot of people in our life that you're like, oh, well, I wish that this person would do this better, or this person should lose some weight. Well, what I'm going to do in my household as of today is I got a little bit more I got to take off. I'm going to take action. I'm going to be the example. I'm going to do it. And if other people see what I do and they do it also, great, but I'm going to do it. So Lisa, you've inspired me. I don't know about our community. I believe you've inspired everybody, but you
Thank
certainly have inspired me. So thank you
you.
for that. And we're excited that you're blessed to have you on here. Please tell, as we close up, any closing comments and how our community can best connect with you and reach you.
Well, don't be a lone wolf. Reach out for help. Get help. I help people and I hold them to the highest level of accountability to hit the targets that they say matter, whether it's in business or finding that elusive work-life balance in their health. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So reach out to me if you need help. You don't have to be in it alone. I'm here on LinkedIn, Lisa Goldenthal. Lisa G Fitness is my website. Lisa G Fit on Instagram or Facebook, Lisa Goldenthal. Just find me. I'm very, very findable.
Excellent. Awesome. So I want to shout out, thank you so much for being on the show. Thanks for being a part of our community, Lisa. I wanted to shout out our sponsors. We want to shout out to Sales Connector, which we use to boost our ability to communicate with people. We want to give a shout out to Jordan Mendoza and his company, Blaze Your Own Trail Consulting. I was speaking with him this morning, marketing, sales, leadership. That is what we're about. And that's why they help sponsor this show. We're about being the light. And so I'll hand it over to Steve Spiro as we count down to what you want to go out there and do. Crush it.
Absolutely. Well, again, very, very honored to be able to be here with you guys. Cameron, Lisa, thank you for joining. Community, you guys are amazing. Remember, this week, we've got half the week. We're hump day today. Let's go out, be a blessing to people, be the light. Let's share the love. That is our mission. So we're going to end the show like we always do. And Lisa, so
just before we do
we're going to count down. What's that, Cameron?
I was going to just before the final episode 74 next week. Kate Basil, I believe is how you say it. How to be agile to get success.
Kate Bays. There's no L there. Sorry, that was
Kate Bays. No, my pleasure. Kate Bays, how to be agile to get success. And we're going to continue on this theme, getting fit, moving forward. Steve, lead us out.
All right, ready? We're going to count down. So everyone in the comments, go ahead and do this, and then we're going to yell, crush it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crush it! Amazing week, everybody. We will see you same bad time, same bad channel next week. Lisa, you're amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate you. Everyone have an amazing week. We got lots of comments in here. I'll play them off while we're playing the video. Thanks, Andy, for being here. He's giving you thank you. Gregory Austin, thanks for being an amazing community member and jumping into the chat today. Yolanda, always member of Team Gold there. Andy in the house. Val, thank you so much for your participation. Yolanda, Val saying crush it. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Steve Spiro, you're a mentor, you're a consultant, you're a business owner, but most importantly, you're a host of your own show and you're also a master connector.
Steve Spiro is one of my idols, and I love listening to everything that he does. He's such a dynamic individual.
Some of the topics I really enjoy speaking on is how to really connect. Whether it be in person or through social media. I love to lead with my weaknesses. I lead with, my vulnerabilities. It's fine because I'm okay with who I am. Number 2 is how to go from being inward focused, self-focused, into others focused. Being willing to give and go out there and look to serve. That will attract the right things. Another one is on leveraging LinkedIn to really grow your business. You could reach a lot more people. You could broadcast a message to people that actually consented to want to know you. And then lastly, overcoming big obstacles. I love sharing. I was a shy, introverted kid, picked on, bullied, learning disabled, dyslexic, really in a dark place. I was really in a box, in a shell, and I've been able to break out of that box. And so I love being able to inspire people and really help them. So the Master Connector was born. The world is my networking event. Right? I meet people all the time. My goal is to meet 3 strangers every single day.
Steve is open to meeting you. You should set up a face-to-face with Steve. One little conversation can really change your life.